Hello healers and health seekers, it's me, Ichota, healing with medical medium information for almost 36 months now. I'm healing from a whole list of chronic illnesses: mast cell activation disorder, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, dysautonomia, POTS, SIBO, systemic exertion intolerance disorder, MECFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, multiple chemical sensitivity, migraines, PCOS, and a whole, just honestly, there's a whole list, and it's in the description box below, and my story and everything else is in the description box if you want to go down that rabbit hole and learn more about me and my situation. But today is What's Up Wednesday. That is where I come here and make a video talking about my healing journey and my process and what has been going on with me. Here we go. As you may know, if you watch my other videos, I am in the middle of, well, not quite the middle, but I'm on day 12 of the Medical Medium 28-day raw cleanse. This is my 4th time doing it in the 36 months. And then it is also, I'm doing raw food June. So for me, that means I am eating all raw food, no overt fats, no salt, and that's what I'm eating. I find it a lot easier to eat no salt when I'm eating all raw because for me, raw foods have their own strong enough flavor that they don't seem to need salt, whereas cooked foods, I still tend to feel like they need some salt. So that means being all raw, I'm eating a lot more frequently and a lot more food, or trying to anyway, to make up for the calorie density of the cooked foods that I would eat, which generally it would just be steamed asparagus, steamed potatoes, steamed Brussels sprouts, steamed sweet potatoes, things like that, steamed squash. Talking about them makes me want them. As you can see, I am going through a lot of detox. That is both physical and emotional. We're in a stressful situation, let's be honest. Being in this RV right now, we're not in this RV for fun or travel or anything like that. We are in the RV so that we can have a safe space to be in while we look for new housing and are transitioning to hopefully closer to where our parents live. Our parents are getting older and it felt like we should be closer to them. So we were there's a college town only 2 hours away from where they live. We were drawn to look there for jobs and housing. It's where we are right now, actually, in an RV park here, in a really nice RV park, actually. It's really beautiful. It's just surrounded by trees and nature. It's gorgeous and quiet and peaceful and really lovely. So at least we have like a really nice place to be staying while we're waiting. But the RV is small and it's not a house, and it's kind of hard to keep up with our routines in the way we did. I'm not able to rebound in here, and that's hard. Honestly, I don't like to do things like rebound in public, which would be, outside in public where people could see me. I'm just not comfortable with it, and for me it's a personal activity, and I try to go for walks here, but I don't always get out of the RV. Sometimes I can be in here for very long periods of time and feel a little cooped up and caged. So my husband has been looking for work here in this area, and we've been looking at houses and in the meanwhile, and the job that came up, because this is a smaller college town, there's not a lot of jobs available, and the ones that are available through the university don't pay very well, and the other ones are few and far between, even for somebody who is generally as in demand as my husband is with what he does. So there was a job opening that he interviewed for. They had a lot of candidates interview. He had a phone interview and then he had an in-person interview, and it was narrowed down to 2 candidates, of which he was one. And it seemed to be taking them just a really long time to call back, and a few days ago my husband and I both had this intuition that they had probably offered the job to the other candidate, if for no other reason than they were asking for a lower salary than he probably was. So we just had this intuition that they probably had offered the job to the other candidate, and then we're just waiting to make sure they had him locked in before they gave my husband the notification that he had not been selected. We both thought that, and yesterday we finally got a call back to confirm that we were correct. So I'm not going to lie, we had kind of started to pin our hopes on this area, and there was a property we really liked, but we were kind of dragging our feet on that property, and we finally decided to let it go. And it sort of felt like when we decided to let it go, like the GPS was recalibrating our route, because it felt like that job was tied to that property and us being here. And then when we let go of that property, because we were like, it's a lot of stuff to take care of, and we thought maybe this is not really what we are looking for, it just sort of felt like the giant GPS of the universe started recalibrating and being like, and then we also didn't get the job. So that's, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty disappointing, and my adrenaline took a pretty big hit yesterday, which is probably why I look so tired today. I didn't get a lot of sleep. I was exhausted at the end of the day for sure, mostly because my adrenaline did take a really big hit, and I was way more disappointed than I anticipated being. I went into this sort of a grief and just really darkness and feeling like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? And it was really, really hard. But I reached out, I managed to, honestly, I'm proud of myself for this, because I reached out to a friend. This is a friend that I don't get to talk to very often because she is a very busy person, and when we do talk to each other on the phone, we talk for 4 hours every time. We have been very unsuccessful at talking for less than 4 hours at a stretch, and when you're a very busy person, 4 hours is a long time to take out of your work schedule, and so we don't get to talk often, but when we do, we really make the most of it, because it's just like we have so much in common. She's also on this path. She's been at it longer than me. She's very smart. She's just an incredible, we have so much in common other than just this, that we just end up down these rabbit holes, and then we just go and go and go and go, and it's 4 hours later, and it's like, the only reason we end up getting off the phone then is because one of us, our phone will die. That's how it works every time. I reached out to her, I texted her, I told her I was in this really dark place, and she called immediately, and we just talked, and I honestly did feel lifted at the end of it, and that was so incredibly helpful. And after that too, I felt like, oh, something told me to reach out rather than just my normal habit. My pattern in the past has always been, if I go in the dark place, to isolate. I mean, I had been texting my cousin and telling her, because my cousin lives in this area, and we were so excited that we were going to be able to live near each other and hang out. We're the same age, and we just really love each other. We talk all the time, and I have been texting her, and she's like, I can come over, do you want me to call you, let's talk. And I was like, no, I won't be good company, I don't want to. She's like, I'm not thinking you're going to be good company, I'm thinking you need somebody to talk to. And but my instinct is sort of to cocoon up and to isolate. And that's what I was starting to do, except I did have the sense, I don't know what drove me and what made me text somebody, well, both my cousin and my friend, but my friend immediately just called, and I could not answer, so I answered, and I'm so glad that I did, because it really uplifted me. And she reminded me, if you're feeling this lost about things, talk to the angel of purpose and wisdom and knowledge, those three angels, to ask them to help you get back on track and to know your purpose so you'll know where to be, and to just put you where you're meant to be. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. So then when I did get off the phone with her and I went to bed, before I went to bed, I had a good talk with them. I just laid it all out and told them all what was going through and what I needed, and asked for that support. And I did my going down the list that I always do before I go to sleep, and asked all the other angels for everything I generally speak to them about: faith and hope and healing and good sleep and healing dreams and more healing and all that. So I woke up quite early today, which is okay. I have been waking up early lately a lot, and I just felt like, okay, I'm probably going to take a nap today like I did yesterday, and that's fine. I just need more rest right now, and lots of glucose and mineral salts, lots of food. I don't think I ate enough yesterday because of just everything that happened. It really threw a wrench into my schedule, my routine. So not just big emotional detox from the cleanse, but just big emotional events happening in life, because life continues to happen even when you're healing, and huge wrenches get thrown into your plans, and it just happens. It's just part of being alive on this planet, I guess. I'm really grateful for all of the healing that I've done, because it's given me the tools that I need to cope with what is happening right now. I feel very, very unsettled. We're not sure what our plan B is. It's not like we can just stay here in the RV all summer. That's not really a viable option for us, and hope another job opportunity comes up. Because like I said, this is a smaller town. Not a lot of jobs like this come around, and there are a lot of people that show up when there is a job. So in the larger city where our families live, there are lots of jobs. Actually, my husband is getting tons of calls from recruiters. He's already interviewed for one position. That was a more recent interview. And other recruiters keep calling him from the same area, and there are plenty of jobs. And I have no doubt that if we were to choose to live there, we would definitely have a job very quickly. However, the housing situation there is less than optimal for a myriad of reasons. I'm not going to go into all of them right now, but there's a bit of a shortage, and what is available does not work for us. And on top of that, the city itself has always been a place of soul-crushing energy to me. I never liked being there, living there. I don't mind visiting. There's definitely a familiarity to it. I lived there for 30 years of my life, so I'm very familiar with the area. I know it well. And whenever we come back, it's very interesting to see the changes that have occurred these past 15 or so years that we've lived away from it. And the city itself is a very angry city, and it's a very toxic city physically. It is loaded with toxins. There's a documentary about this city and the toxins that inhabit it. It's so bad that there's a documentary in the mainstream media about it. And for so many reasons, it does not feel like a viable option to me to live there. However, at the same time, we want to be closer to family. So we're trying to just figure out what is workable. And also, honestly, talking to the angel of purpose, because where does the universe want me? What is my purpose? Am I supposed to be there whether I like it or not? I don't know. Maybe I am, because sometimes you don't like where the universe puts you. But it's still your calling, it's still your path, it's still your purpose, and it's fulfilling your purpose to be there. And if that's the case, I guess that's where I'll be. And maybe there's something bigger about it that I don't see right now, that I won't be just completely miserable there. I don't know. Even talking about it right now, I can feel a lump in my throat, like I want to cry, because why did our parents have to choose to live in this horrible toxic city? Why can't they live somewhere nice? Why can't they live in Costa Rica? Why couldn't we not have grown up in Costa Rica? I don't know. Or just somewhere less toxic. It's just such a hard environment for me. Even visiting, I'm always like, I'll be glad when we're gone. I love seeing my family. I really do. I miss my family so much, and I love seeing them, but it's nothing about that city fits me. Of course, to be quite honest, I'm not sure that I fit in any city, but there's definitely cities I've lived in that feel like home. When we lived outside of Seattle, every time I would walk out my door and we'd get in the car and go driving, and I could see Mount Rainier in the distance, the word that would just come over me is home. I'm home. This is where I'm supposed to be. Why we ever left that city, I don't know, because we certainly can't afford to move back there now. Oh my gosh. And I loved so much of the West Coast. It's a little bit rough for me to be in this area, but so right now we are just in that place of just not knowing what the heck is going on. And so I don't know, I'm honestly just doing the best I can with the tools I have. Oh, I got off on a tangent, but I really am trying to say that I'm so grateful for the tools that I have developed over these last 3 years and the emotional support that I have learned to draw from. Not only do I know how to reach out for support when I need it, which is a new skill for me because, again, my inclination is to cocoon, to isolate, to be like, no, I don't want to impose this on anybody. I don't want anyone else to have to deal with this. I'll just handle this or whatever. So for me, it's been really important to reach out to people when I know that I need that kind of support. And also to give myself the emotional support that I need to be able to have compassion for myself and realize, like, hey, you can't hold yourself to like whatever standard you think you need to hold yourself to, because right now you're going through a really hard time. So just take it 1 minute at a time and hold yourself in love and light and do what you know to do to help. So I do call out to the angels. And I'll just be honest, yesterday I was in such an incredibly dark place that I was like, there are no angels. I'm all alone. I don't have any support. But right there were people. I'm going to get a little moved now. Right there were people who are in my corner saying, you do have support. I'm here. The angels are there. Talk to these specific angels, and who were ready to just be there for me and to show me that I matter and that they love me and that there was love for me. Sorry, I'm getting a little... It's really moving to know that that's there. I didn't always have that. And especially in the heart of my chronic illness, I didn't feel that I had that. And to know that I have that, oh, it's big. It's really big. So it fills up my heart and spills out my eyes. It's just an amazing feeling to know that there are people that are just really looking out for me and that care about me and my well-being and are willing to spend 4 hours on the phone with me talking about just everything, like literally everything. Everything I was going through, everything the world is going through, just rabbit holes and rabbit holes. And then just keep reminding me of the light, like just come back into the light. The light is there, you're a part of the light, and talk to these angels and just know that you're supported and that they're there and that I'm here and we love you and it's going to be okay. And I honestly, after that conversation, and after both conversations, because talking to my cousin as well, oh, I just felt so surrounded in like a bubble of love and light and supported. And I felt like, okay, things are going to be okay. Like, they're really rough right now. This is the storm. But all storms pass, like Anthony William always says. Medical Medium always says, all storms pass. And I'm like, okay, this is going to pass. We're going to get through this somehow together. And I felt it. I feel it now. I still don't know how. I just feel a little more trust that it will happen. So that's really big. And I'm really grateful for that. I am so grateful for that. I am so grateful for having developed over time these emotional tools and that self-compassion. You know, Medical Medium says even if you don't have that compassion for yourself, it can be sparked by someone else's compassion. And that's what happened. I lost compassion for myself. I lost sight of it for a minute, a few hours actually. And honestly, I haven't felt darkness like that since when I was in the height of my chronic illness. I have healed so much, and the depression that I used to go through and the anxiety and all of the dark, dark thoughts that I used to have during the height of my chronic illness, I haven't felt them since then until yesterday. And it's not that I haven't had periods of sadness or even felt a little bit of maybe depression, but it would always like lift by the next day. Again, it has today, like it always has. But it's like I've never gone quite that dark. I've gone close, maybe just once or twice, but I haven't gone that dark and since then. But you know, self-compassion. Like, it's a rough time we're going through right now. This is very unstable and uncertain, and I want nothing more than to be back in my routine, and have a little space to breathe and to be able to rebound, and, you know, just like all of these little things that seem to fall out. Like, I'm even having trouble sort of keeping up with my supplements, which, like, how? I'm just here all the time. Like, how could I not? But I don't know, I am. I guess I should be really proud of myself too, because I still have been all raw. Yesterday I wanted nothing more than to eat the entire bag of potatoes that we have in the fridge. Like, I was just like, I just want to steam the whole thing and dump a bunch of salsa on them and just eat them all. Like, I just want to eat, because potatoes are also a really good food to have when you've had like a big emotional hit. Like, potatoes are a fantastic food to have, and I seriously considered, and I'm not going to stay outside the realm of possibility of using them for that. I think there are raw foods too that I can use, so I'm definitely looking those up. I started to look them up yesterday, and then my friend called. So again, see, tools that I have to support myself emotionally, and I know about them, and I reach for them automatically. That's how far I've come, is I now automatically reach for the tools that will help support me, rather than just going into like powerlessness, which I was there. I felt like I was in that powerless place, but I was still able to reach for those tools just kind of automatically, like, I need to do this and I need to do this. I have to help myself, and so amazing that I was able to do that. So yeah, I really considered eating those potatoes. And in the end, I did not. I had a bunch of, I had a couple of beautiful white nectarines that were just so amazing. I was so glad to have them. And I had several bananas. And then I went to sleep because I was so exhausted from all of the emotional upheaval and all of the emotions that had gone through me. And I was just exhausted, so I just fell asleep. So I am just so grateful. You can hear my family's waking up. Like, I try to sneak these videos in before they get up, but I can hear my husband on the phone in the next room. I bet he's getting a job offer from one of those recruiters. Oh my gosh. I don't want to live in that city, but it seems like the universe is pushing. Okay, I don't want to think about it because I'll start to cry again. So I'm going to wrap up this video since they seem like they're going to get up. And if you like this video, please give a thumbs up below. You can subscribe to my channel by hitting that subscribe button. You can ding the bell next to it if you want to be notified when I post a new video. I want to take a minute. I just really want to appreciate you. I mean, I do. I know at the end of every video, but I want to appreciate you for accompanying me on this journey, and all of your support means so much to me. I don't know if I could ever properly convey how much everyone's support means to me, and I just so appreciate it, and I so appreciate all of you, and I wish for blessings for all of you on your continued healing journey, and I love you so much. I really genuinely do. Thank you again. Stay curious, my healers and health seekers, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.